Why is Maryland so weirdly shaped? Well, Maryland's unusual shape is the result of 17th and 18th century colonial land grants, border disputes, and geographic compromises. King Charles I of England granted the land of Maryland to Cecil Calvert, Lord Baltimore, in 1632. The charter defined Maryland's northern boundary as the 40th parallel north, but this was based on limited geographic knowledge at the time. Nearly 50 years later, King Charles II granted land to William Penn to establish Pennsylvania. His charter claimed land south to the 40th parallel as well, creating a major overlap with Maryland's claim. One problem: Philadelphia, already being settled by Penn's followers, is actually located south of the 40th parallel, meaning it would technically fall within Maryland if that border were enforced, literally. Nearly 50 years later, King Charles II granted land to William Penn to establish Pennsylvania. To settle the dispute between the Calvert and Penn families, two English surveyors, Charles Mason and Jeremiah Dixon, were hired. They surveyed the border between Pennsylvania and Maryland, ultimately placing it about 15 miles south of the 40th parallel, thereby keeping Philadelphia in Pennsylvania. This boundary became known as the Mason-Dixon line, and it later gained symbolic importance as the dividing line between the northern and southern U.S. The narrow, elongated part of Maryland in the west exists because of geography and neighboring colonial claims. Maryland wanted access to the Potomac River, and Virginia and Pennsylvania claimed land to the north and south. The result was a squeezed, curved strip of land, only about 2 miles wide at its narrowest point near Cumberland. Maryland's eastern boundary also had disputes. Parts of what are now Delaware were once claimed by Maryland. Delaware ultimately became a separate colony with its own identity, though it was technically under Pennsylvania's governance until the American Revolution.